XRP holders, let's talk about exactly what's going on right now. Definitely with us seeing that little bit of a trend there on the 1 hour chart. We can also see some momentum coming on the 4 hour. The 4 hour chart is going to try to resist this 247 once again. We're getting pretty close to it when you take a look at the 1 minute chart. We're seeing a lot of price action coming along with XRP, but currently the volume is currently down. You can kind of see here we had that W-shaped pattern. We also had this double top. Also, what we had seen here was going to be this descending triangle, which we broke out of right there when I talked about earlier about that 222 in my previous video. We also did not continue to kind of fill this gap here. I still do think that this shoulder is overperforming. I think it is going to be due to the low amount of volume. Also with Bitcoin and Ethereum running, that is going to be some expectations that we have to be able to see and realize. The volume that's coming inside of the market and the money that is being made is going to have to be sustained. The money is definitely not being sustained whenever you do look at Bitcoin. When you look at Ethereum, a lot of those are starting to kind of rise back up, starting to gain some volume, but overall I do expect that they're going to pull back here probably by the end of the month. Right now you got Bitcoin moving. You also got Dogecoin kind of steadily climbing. XRP though is definitely not climbing on the 4 hour like some of these other ones, so you can definitely tell it's already had a little bit of its run, kind of cooling back down. We are looking like we might see a little bit of a retest of that 247. We see that retest. I still think that we're going to pull back down to that 216, 217, getting closer back down to that $2 range. This is just going to be based off of analysis along with patterns that I'm starting to see inside the market itself. Retest this V-shaped recovery to 103. If it does, we're going to need to see a breakout period. Even with Stellar Lumens has been bearish. When you do zoom out onto the chart on like the 4 hour chart, you can see that we've been steadily on the decline. You can see it here. We've had two small candles here, a few small candles there, and then automatically a rebalance there to literally just fill in the same type of gap there on Stellar Lumens. But that's the thing with XRP. A lot of people, they see it going back and forth between these resistance, but the problem is with that is this going to take time. With the 1 hour and the 4 hour time frames, this can be drawn out quite a long time. Whenever you do take a look at the 1 hour here, you do still see that shoulder. You can also see that this shoulder is just being drawn out, and I do expect that it's going to be based off of the low amount of volume that's currently on XRP. The XRP's volume is currently right around that $13 billion range. It is popularity number 4 on Coinbase. The volume has started slowing down. Whenever we was right around this area here, we had around $40 billion worth of volume. Right now, we're only at $13 billion today. So when you take a look like at the 10-minute chart, you can see that we're trying to get to that 242. That 247 is going to be a range that we had rejected right here. We also started to get kind of closer back to it this time right before we started to see a rejection before that big sell-off going back down to that 222 again. That's what we're seeing here is going to be a lot of ups and downs. Whenever we kind of see it break back up, there's potential that we may also see this again, or what we're going to see is getting it closer, trying to get to around that 247, 246 range. And then if we don't break out from this period to here, what more than likely we're going to see is that pull back down just like we've seen from here all the way down to here. And that is going to be a big drop. So when we see these types of moves, that's over 11% drop. With the market cap itself, that's an indication of a few $billion being pulled out of the coin. You can also see that if you would have got in around the high of the bull run and got it to where it is now, you'd still be currently down over 14%. You can see that how much volume is coming into the market itself and how fast that it is currently moving. This right here is causing a lot of FOMO into the market, and you're seeing it here, and you're also seeing a lot of selling pressure around here, definitely with a lot of panic. But then you see the FOMO here. It's a lot of psychology trading playing that support and resistance. When it plays that support and resistance, it can be drawn out and consolidate for quite a while. You take a look at Bitcoin. The Bitcoin chart looks completely different. The Ethereum chart looks completely different than XRP. Due to the low amount of volume and what we're seeing on XRP, I think that XRP could potentially still kind of pull back just a little bit further, going to try to retest that $2 range right before we start to see any more patterns. Overall, though, we started to kind of see that double bottom after that double top. This makes it a descending triangle, so you know that it has to come back down to the support. So it kind of makes that bottom of the double bottom You see that breakout getting to it. You see it kind of pull back where it was overbought, getting back to it. Could easily be retesting that same position that we had seen here. Going to be that M shape, going to be that double top, rejecting that support. This is going to be around the third, fourth time that we're starting to kind of see this resistance here on this shoulder. As we continue to kind of go back and forth, a lot of holders are kind of waiting to see what exactly is going to happen with XRP. I do think XRP is going to try to follow Bitcoin and Ethereum in the long term, but right now XRP is not performing the same as Bitcoin and Ethereum. The low amount of volume on it and how many people's holding for 2025, I think with the short-term prediction on XRP, I still think that we're going to hit around that 242, 247, dropping back down closer back to that 217 again, just like we have seen in the recent patterns. If you do zoom out and not look at the 1 minute chart, you can see a big difference. That's going to be around an 8% drop. And you can see how much we've also had ran just within 10 hours. But you can also see what the potential is on the way back down as well, as XRP's volume with it being lower, but Bitcoin and Ethereum is skyrocketing. Once Bitcoin kind of pulls back, I think that's going to be able to give us that push down to see around that $2 range going on to that $1.96. If you do like this, make sure you hit that like button. Also subscribe. Remember, I am not a financial advisor. It's just entertainment purposes only, so make sure you do your own due diligence.